I saw in my comments somebody asked me, why don't you check out Marc Dice YouTube channel? Well, I have been looking at Marc Dice YouTube channel. How could you not? One thing about I like about Mike Dice is that he just speaks things for what they are. He gets to the heart of the matter, and he's very bold and straightforward with it. And then he lets you make your own decision. So how about we check out a Marc Dice according to your requests? We're gonna do that today. So if you happen to be new to the channel, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, and subscribe to the page as well. Check out our links in the description below. Also a link to Marc Dice YouTube channel will be in the description of this video, as always. Okay, without further ado, let's now get into the heart of the message here.
After 3 weeks, Pete Buttigieg finally got around to visiting East Palestine, Ohio, the site of the train wreck and massive chemical spill that devastated a small town. Because, well, they can't send Joe Biden because there's no way that he would handle situations like this.
Mayor Pete, why did it take you an entire 2.5 weeks to actually get here to respond to East Palestine? Will you apologize to the residents of this city for the slow response, to the government's slow response? Do you have any apology?
I'm a press person. I can help you.
Sure. So can we ask why it took?
This is Pete Buttigieg's press secretary, by the way, who just said that she doesn't want to be on camera. That's your job, lady. That's why you're there.
Can we ask why it took him?
She doesn't want to be on camera. That's kind of... What do you mean you don't want to be on camera? What is it that you want to tell? I know it's Sav Says YouTube channel here. What is it that you're going to share with the people that you don't want to be on camera about? What exactly? What is it that you don't want us to know? It's the question we're asking now.
Almost 3 weeks to get here.
I'm sorry, I don't want to do this on camera.
What was his personal time off while there was a tragedy happening here?
You guys off
And can we
camera.
also ask too why it, he waited until President Donald Trump came here to actually make an appearance? This is a very important question that people across America would like to know.
I'm happy to have a conversation with you. I do not want to be on camera.
Well,
Please put your cameras away.
I'm sorry, we're on a public area, so we are allowed as press.
You guys, I would like you guys to turn your cameras off.
You're
and
not
then
on my camera.
Well, I'm on a camera. I would like your cameras to be off, and then I'm happy to talk to you guys.
Well,
That's very fishy, though. It makes you wonder why. They're in a public space, so... Yeah, that's kind of weird. They're reporting the news, so... How do you not want to be on camera? I mean, that's something they can agree to, but they don't have to agree to it. The question is, why is it that you don't want to be on camera?
if you're the press secretary of the Department of Transportation, don't you think you should be able to ask questions from the American public that you serve?
Absolutely. I would like to do it without the camera on.
Can I ask why?
I think that is a little bit aggressive. That's why. And
Why is it?
It's aggressive. And by the way, the woman asking the questions, the actual reporter, is Savannah Hernandez, who was banned from Twitter under the previous ownership for doing quality journalism like this, but thankfully has been restored by Elon Musk. Old Joe's press secretary, whose job is also to face the cameras and answer questions for the job.
All right. I know some of you were having a hard time pronouncing her name. I'm going to tell you because she's originally from Haiti, but I think she was born and raised in the United States. Her name is Corinne Jean-Pierre. Corinne Jean-Pierre. Get it right, somebody. Just wanted to say that. All right, let's go ahead.
General public is having a very difficult time explaining why Old Joe is in hiding.
Two questions. First of all, the president frequently visits the sites of many natural and man-made disasters, and this situation in East Palestine has clearly required a multi-agency response from the federal and the state level. So I guess I'm just struggling to understand why the president wouldn't go to East Palestine. Does it simply not meet the bar for a presidential visit?
Look, I want to be very clear here. There's no reason to struggle, I don't think, on this question. I think when you look at how the federal agencies have responded from day one and took this very seriously.
Actually, FEMA rejected helping them until Donald Trump announced that he was going to go down there himself. And obviously, the person who is struggling here is you.
on point. I don't know why she's having. She has this punchline. She likes to say the president takes this matter seriously. There is this thing that she likes to say, and she also likes to say, "I want to be very clear." These are things I listen. I don't know. I get those buzzwords anyway. I like to pick up on those things anyway. She likes to say things like that, especially when I think she doesn't have an answer. She says, I want to be very clear about this. I want to be very clear. Let me say this. Let me say this. Or, the president take this seriously. We, the Homeland Department, we take this seriously. And I'm like, okay, whatever. All right, keep going.
This is what happened on Wednesday when a real leader showed up.
Some audio in here.
He later went to McDonald's, famously his favorite restaurant, we all have flaws, to buy the local firefighters and police lunch.
How are you today? Nice to meet you.
Hello, everybody. That's a nice, beautiful looking group of people.
I remember when it was first revealed, Mr. Trump loves to go to loves to go to McDonald's. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of weird. And the media was trying to make a big deal about that. Like, he eats at McDonald's. What kind of man eats at McDonald's? It's like, duh. He never stops eating at McDonald's. He keeps doing what he loves to do. He just stays true to himself. And eventually, we had to realize, okay, it is what it is. He loves his McDonald's. Okay? So what's the big deal? Get over it.
So I know this menu better than you do, okay? I probably know it better than anybody in here. We're going to take care of the fire department.
Okay.
We're going to take care of the police department. And what we do is all the people that are here right
I'm
now.
the owner, Mr. President. How are you?
I don't have to give him.
That's right.
That's a good one to own, right?
Yes, it is. One of the best.
He also brought pallets of water because many of the locals are afraid to drink the tap water out of concern that it may be contaminated. And it was water from his golf courses and his hotels that's private labeled with the Trump brand. So, of course, the liberals were upset about that he brought them Trump brand water bottles. And look at this. CNN miraculously finally decided to cover the situation.
Yeah, at least CNN chose to speak about this because I don't think Fox News even touched this at all. Which tells me then Fox News is totally done with Trump as a president. They seem to be leaning more toward Ron DeSantis, which is also a very good candidate as well, even though he has not even made an announcement to be to actually run for the presidency. But nevertheless, Fox News total neglect of this whole entire issue when Trump went over there was very telling. It really tells you the level of biasness that's going on here in the media, even among conservatives. Is kind of sad, but nevertheless, at least CNN had something to say about this, which I give them some godly respect on that one.
There.
Tonight, the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, is on the ground in Ohio. Its stated mission to make sure Norfolk Southern does everything to fix the toxic mess caused by one of its trains flying off the tracks. The move follows 3 weeks of angry pleas from residents of East Palestine that the company, the agency, and the President of the United States are simply not doing enough.
Meanwhile, MSNBC is upset that Donald Trump shined a spotlight on the situation, thus causing the Biden administration.
Oh boy, I'm not ready for these guys. It gets really dirty with them. Anyway, let's keep going.
To finally get involved.
It's just so gross. He really is. I mean, talking about Trump water, branded Trump water. And by the way, he's such a hypocrite, too, talking about attacking Joe Biden while Joe Biden is going, risking his life, fighting for Western democracy, something he doesn't give a damn.
He's risking his life. There is no risk in Kyiv right now, currently, and there's nothing risky. Joe Biden is wearing a suit and walking around. Like, these people are so annoying with their fake news. It's actually a shame. It's a shame to listen to them. And it's like they really think some of us as people are not thinking at all. They really think that. They really think by them saying stuff like this, they're going to get through the people. That is actually, I think that's disrespectful to even think so low of the American people that you can promulgate all kind of nonsense and think that's okay to do. That's just crazy to me. You are so self-deceived.
Am about.
You mean visiting a foreign country who he's handing hundreds of billions of our tax dollars to help them defend their border while he ignores ours, while hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens flood across it every single month after month? Of course, the Cloud News Network continues to run defense for old Joe, missing in action during this crisis, while Donald Trump is there to help out.
The criticizing Biden for being overseas in Ukraine on even the 1 year anniversary and not being in Ohio is a total false equivalence. It's complete BS. And you know, you can do both and you should do both. And Biden.
And he hasn't done both, and it's been 3.
Wow. I never thought I would have said this, but that is actually, this is how you get respect as a media network when you start talking like this. Just tell it like it is, man. Just give people respect for what they are doing and highlight the matter for what it is and stop putting a color and a shade on things. And I think we got to get rid of the biasness that's in the media, but I don't know how that's going to happen because it's so bipartisan and I mean, it's so messy right now, so that I have no idea how that's gonna be fixed because they're just too leaning toward one group and the other, and they're not seeing things for what they really are. And this is what's dividing our nation. These fake news that are being promulgated consistently. But at least this man here had the guts to tell it like it is. It's just pure BS. You know, Mr. Trump is doing the work. Let's give him some godly respect.
And you know, you can do both and you should do both. And Biden.
And he hasn't done both, and it's been 3 weeks.
Biden should go to that community. But the preeminent responsibility is leading an international coalition.
Even if Mr. Biden just went there for an hour, you know what I'm saying? He stopped there just for an hour to do something or quickly address the nation about what's going on there. Just send a message to the people of Ohio and send your representatives somehow. Tell Mr. Pete Buttigieg you need to get there within the next couple of days. You know what I'm saying? Do something. But when you hear what the girls on The View's, George Behar, I'm not sure if this is part of the video, talking about you voted for that guy. You voted for Trump. You know, he's the one who took away all the regulation and everything. So, in other words, you're blaming the people for their own condition, which is really heartless, which is cruel. But that's where we are with legacy media today, and especially these ladies on The Views who are saying nothing with a bunch of words.
Coalition to stop Russian aggression and to try to undercut that under the auspices of America First and photo ops at McDonald's passing out branded water isn't a sufficient response. They want to draw the contrast, but it's a false contrast. It's a false choice.
No, you're just gaslighting again. Now the media is patting.
You say you're gaslighting again. It's true though. Part of it is false, especially when you know the rating for CNN is plummeting, and they have to find ways to get confidence and the trust of the people again. And I think that's part of the reason why they're trying to bring Bill Maher to at least bring some type of life back to that channel, because their rating is so bad, their viewership is bad, and I think they're losing finances as well. So no wonder why they have to kind of say something in a positive here to somewhat appeal to the American people who are feeling the pain of those people in Ohio, East Palestine. So they got to come and do a little bit of cleanup. But Marc Dice says, no, you're just gaslighting. You're not going to get me through that. No, it's not going to work.
It's a false choice.
No, you're just gaslighting again. Now the media is patting Pete Buttigieg on the back as if he's a big hero now that he finally reluctantly showed up after 3 weeks.
We were there to work. We were there to get things done. And I'm really glad I had the opportunity to be there.
You did nothing. He insinuated that the only reason people care about what's happening there is because they're being duped by misinformation online.
Both information and misinformation injected into this situation, none of which is to the benefit of the community when it comes to that misinformation.
Whenever you hear misinformation, they're oftentimes telling you that wherever people are getting their information from, it's not coming from the mainstream media. So they are talking about the alternative media networks, referring to the YouTubers, the podcasters, the conservative channels like mine, channels like Marc Dice, Sab Says, and many others that are talking about this, and they are addressing this matter. And therefore, the mainstream media cannot neglect it because so many people are already hearing about it from different channels. So oftentimes they classify these other channels as misinformation channels. So when they do that, they're kind of telling you need to be watching CNN and only our take on this matter than, to watch them. But nevertheless, people already know the facts. The information are so accessible today. People don't need to spend time listening to these guys anymore because we know how to get our news in so many various ways that are unlike more cleaner and believable than what they are promoting in the media department. So, yeah. Say whatever you want to say, mister.
So I lost my train of thought.
Well, there's a statement that goes by, if you always tell the truth, you will not have to remember what you've said. So I'm wondering if this has anything to do with the reason why he lost his train of thoughts. Just stop lying.
You lost your train of thought. Maybe pick a less insensitive metaphor since you're on the site of a literal train wreck. You know things are bad when the enemy propaganda is irrefutably true. Here's Vladimir Putin on American culture.
By the way, this is actually a speech that if you haven't seen this, I would encourage you to go watch this. Vladimir Putin on American culture, he addresses a number of things. I'll tell you, I watched this, I was like, you know what? I have to agree with this man. This is no Russian sympathizer here. And oftentimes, while we love our country and we like to protect what we got going on here, sometimes the enemy's message might be true. And there are things our media will never tell you. And listening to him, I was like, yo, he spoke about things that has to do with Ukraine, things that have to do with NATO, and how they approach the borders of Russia, instigated the war themselves, and how Ukraine is being used as a mean to wage war against Russia. They really want to attack Russia, and that's why they are supporting NATO and sponsoring NATO. He even talked about the much money is being used. He even actually acknowledged that the American people, for the vast majority of them, are not for this war. He went as far as what Marc Dice is about to show you right now, is calling out how in America they are pushing things in our culture that are destroying the families. When he hates me on that one, I was like, yo, he's on point. He's on point. I love my country. I ain't sitting here trying to sympathize with Russia. They got a lot of stuff there that I want nothing to do with. But when they speak the truth, though, we should at least give them some godly respect.
Today.
Now look at what they're doing with their own peoples. They're destroying the institution of family, their cultural and historical identity, and various perversions with regard to children up to pedophilia are accepted as the new norm.
Drag Queen Story Hour, the gender-bending teachers that are all over TikTok. I mean, there's really no refuting what he's saying.
And priests are forced to recognize and officiate same-sex weddings.
Well, it's actually even worse than that because now we have supposed pastors, priests, and...
Oh, gosh. Don't go there. Yeah, I mean, Putin was correct. Say what you want to say. It is 100% correct. Even though we got all these issues against Russia, but they're not doing this to their people. They're not putting ideology, they're not putting a small group perspective of themselves above the majority. They're not violating the constitutions. They are not canceling people because of misgendering. They might be doing it for other political reasons, of course, but they're not doing what we're doing to each other here. They're not putting people's emotions of themselves above principles, truth, and righteousness. They're not doing that. And this minister here, I have no idea. I did make a video about this guy, and I'll put a link in the description. I mean, if you just click, the channel, you go down, you will see it. It's one of those last 3 videos that I made. I don't know where this man got his theology from. I took about 20-something minutes correcting the view of this man, but it's much darker than that. Anyway, let's keep going.
Reverends like this.
God is gay. God is a lesbian. God is trans. God is gender non-binary. God is straight. God is cisgender. God is black. God is white. God is Middle Eastern. God is Asian. God is differently abled mentally and physically. God is able-bodied. God is you, and you are God.
No, that's actually literally what Satan teaches, who you are obviously serving. Oh, and by the way, order my new I Love White People shirt from my online store at markdice.com or click the link in the description below before it probably gets banned. Like all of my designs, it's available in a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a hoodie, and a whole bunch of different colors as well. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check it out.
You say I love white people t-shirt. That is actually a very controversial statement in itself, especially when white people are being demonized in our culture like no other. So there you go. You wanted me to do some Marc Dice? There you have it. I'll check out more of his content as well. Marc Dice was certainly on point. But again, here is the thing that matters the most at this stage of our lives is the truth. The truth matters the most. People need to get the truth from the media, and we need to stop spinning the story. And unfortunately, we can't trust the mainstream media, so therefore we gotta go find the truth somewhere else. You gotta go hunt for it. Unfortunately, the truth today is heavily under attack. It's under attack in all these different areas. We see like relativism, the truth is being subjective to one personal idea and perception, or all monotheism, monism. There are different isms that are attacking the truth today. And also postmodernism has been another one of those uppercut against the truth. Until today, we're still feeling the impact. And I think with the rise of the philosophers and so on, and during the French Revolution, the truth has also taken another blow. But one thing is certain is that what we need the most to save the world is that we need to keep the truth in front of their eyes. And this is why this channel exists, because the Bible says you shall know the truth and the truth will make you free. The more you know what the truth is, the more you can make decisions for yourself. And the media is so good on spinning the story and changing people's perspective on things, and it's actually repulsive. And this is why we need to be talking more, sharing videos more, and lift up our voice and help people to see the things for what they really are, so that we are no longer deceived by them. All right, friends, I'm gonna end this video right here. Thank you for checking out this video. Comment below, share your thought and perspective with me about these matters. Until next time, and as always, remember to look unto Jesus and to live by faith. Have a good one. Bye.